All right, so this lecture we're going to talk about how to balance saturation in your colors. Now, something that I see a lot of problems with in a lot of beginner artists is that they have way too high of saturation on a lot of their colors, and it makes the whole thing look really hard to look at and really cheesy. Okay, so for example, if I turn the green color on him all the way up, and as well as his skin color all the way up, and we'll do that a couple times to really push the saturation, we see stuff that looks like this sometimes, and it doesn't look super great, right? It looks kind of cheesy, okay? And we don't know when to have things be saturated and how much and so on and so forth. We want something to look green, and so we end up picking the brightest green we can, like somewhere up here, and then the whole thing doesn't look right, okay? So I'm going to show you guys how to not do that and how to understand how to balance it. So this image here, it's the monkey demon guy, and there's no special overlays on it, no facial banding or any sort of sunlight overlays, nothing like that, because I just want to show you just like the base colors, right? So I have my lighting layers that you can see if we turn it off. These are just the base flat colors for this piece, okay? Now, if you want something to be colorful, the secret is to have one area be saturated and everything else not be, right? If you want something to look colorful, it only looks colorful when it's in contrast to other objects that aren't as colorful. So for example, the horns and the base color for his skin, if we leave that a more neutral desaturated color, then the part on top of the head is going to look much more saturated. So I'm going to duplicate this layer, we'll turn off the bottom one, and let's experiment with some different colors to show you what I mean. So even if we have this fairly desaturated, it still looks green, right? We can go pretty low, and if we color pick this green, and look where it is on the color scale, it's way down here, right? Most people, when they pick a color, they pick something like this, and they end up with that, which is not what we want, right? That looks fake, it looks cheesy, it looks bad, okay? So let's say you want to do blue. If you want to do a blue type monkey, you don't want to pick way up here, right? That's too much, okay? In very sparing circumstances would you do this. What we really want to do is pick more like this, which makes it look a lot more realistic, a lot easier to look at, okay? And that's what getting good colors is about, right? People ask me all the time, how do I make my colors look good? How do I make my colors look like yours? And it's about balancing that saturation and making sure that you don't have everything over the top with color, okay? It's about finding accents that complement each other. So let's do, we'll delete this. Let's do 3 different color schemes, and so I can show you examples of all of these and when it's okay to make things really saturated, okay? So I'm going to duplicate this layer, going to turn off the layer beneath it, and let's change this one to, let's say we want to do a pink one, right? So we find a pink color we like. I think that looks pretty good around there, pinkish red. Right, now if we get it too saturated, it just looks completely unrealistic. It looks totally fake, right? So what we need to do is find the happy medium between grayscale and oversaturated, right? Now because we have this background skin tone that's a less saturated value, it helps balance out the rest of this so it doesn't look fake and over the top, right? And then we can change this color back here to something that's more complementary. So maybe like a really desaturated blue. Okay? See what that does? Gives us some really interesting and unique colors without going way too over the top. Alright? Let's try another one. So we'll go ahead and duplicate this, turn off the pink. Let's go with a blue one, right? So we'll go to hue, saturation, and brightness. We're going to change this top part to a bluish color. And then let's change his base skin color to a green. I like that, right? A yellow sort of green. Okay. And then the head, I'm going to up the saturation on it just a little bit. Alright, so you can see we don't need a bunch of really bright colors to make this look like a colorful creature, right? If we color pick this blue and see what color it is, right? it's not way up here in the brightest range, right? It's actually pretty low, okay? And if we pick this green of his skin, look at that. It's almost gray, right? It's all the way over here to the left. If it was over here or even up here, it would look ridiculous, right? That would not look right. Okay? It doesn't feel realistic enough. It feels really unnatural. There are some sparing cases where you can do that, and that'll be up to you to decide, but you have to make sure that you're doing it consciously and that things are balancing out, right? So if we were going to do that, we couldn't have the horns also be that bright of a color, else there'd be nowhere to look without things being chaotic, especially when your background is really colorful, right? Your background should probably never be the most colorful part of your image, otherwise that's where people are going to look, okay? So we have that one, we have our pink one, okay, and then let's do one more. Okay, so I'll duplicate this blue, we'll turn that on, turn on our green, duplicate that, and for this one, let's see, let's do we could do purple. I'm not sure how I feel about the purple though. Let's do like a pretty solid orange. Can we get an orange in here? There we go. Okay, orange. And then for his base skin, under here, we'll just change this to more of like a, should we do a cream color? That's what I'm feeling, is kind of like a cream. Or we could do blue, that does kind of look cool as well. I think we should go with the cream. So, bring it over here, lighten it up a bit, lower the saturation. And it gives us a really nice cream color to work with, right? So if we flip through these, we could see, so we have the orange with the cream. Here, we'll turn them all on really quick, then we could go through each one. All right, so we'll start. We have the orange with the cream. We have the blue and green. We have the pink and blue. And we have the green and grayish color, okay? And none of these are all the way full brightness of saturation, right? So when you're painting things and you're thinking about that and you're thinking, man, I want this to be a really colorful creature, I really want this to pop, remember, you only need one part to really be that saturated, and even then, it doesn't need to go all the way, right? And you need other colors that are less saturated in order to make that saturated color pop, because if everything's saturated, nothing will look saturated, nothing will stand out, right? So give your really bright color something to sit against by creating less saturated areas around it. So that's color balancing, and that's one really great way to help you get really good colors when you're painting your picture. I'll see you guys in the next lecture. Are you looking for even more content on how to become a digital artist? Then check out some of my online courses. There are over 50 hours of in-depth content, and they cover a range of topics from creature design to light and color, and from character design to digital painting. You'll gain access to a private Facebook group for students only, where you can stay motivated and get feedback on your work. Plus, I provide fully responsive support throughout all of my courses, and I offer a 100% no questions asked money back guarantee. So normally my courses range from $100 to $200, but subscribers can take any of them, anytime, any course, for only $12, and once you buy it, you own it for life. There's no time limits, no subscriptions, anything like that. So if you want to show your support and become a better artist in the process, then use the link in the description, or just use promo code YT discount on any of my courses. So appreciate you guys. Have a good one.